few weeks ago, we rebuilt Celtic in the Premier League. And it's only right that we do it for the blue half of Glasgow. We're rebuilding Rangers in the Premier League today, but there's a twist. I've brought Celtic along once again for the journey. Can we make Rangers European champions in the Premier League faster than Celtic? Let's go find out. So here is the default starting 11 that the game has given us here with Rangers. Definitely some work for us to do if we're going to survive this relegation battle. Because as you can see, Rangers in the Premier League, so are Celtic. I've removed Sheffield United and Burnley at the time of recording. They are the two lowest teams in the Premier League table, which means there is less weak competition to pad us in the relegation battle. Starting things off with a departure that might upset a few Rangers fans, but we have to be cutthroat this year. We need to make a gazillion transfers. So Tom Lawrence, he's going to be in good hands at Fulham. He signs there for £2.8 million. But our first signing in the Rangers era in the Premier League is for a man that might find himself in the Premier League next year. His valuation goes up after we sign him, which is always a good sign, but it is the Brazilian Gabriel Sara from Norwich City, £13.1 million. There are a bunch of young players in this Rangers squad that I really want to harness. If you've played career mode this year, you know Leon King is a wonder kid. We're sending him to Leeds United for 2 years. He's a former wonder kid at really a crossroads in his career, but we're sending Rabbi Matondo off to PSV. And we're also saying goodbye to Davies. Ben Davies off to Everton for £3.5 million. But we're going to get right out onto the market and sign his replacement and upgrade. Tosin Adarabioyo is going to be leaving Fulham on a free transfer at the end of the season in real life. So in this save, we're going to get him out of Craven Cottage nice and early. He's a Premier League, I wouldn't say veteran, but he's had 3 or 4 years in the Premier League at this stage. Tosin Adarabioyo, a huge pickup for our back line on a bargain. Valued at £8.6 million, we get him for just £7 million. Ross McCausland is heading to West Brom for 2 years. We've just about sent ourselves broke with this signing, but I think we needed a striker to partner up top with Danilo. I want to have 1 billion goals next to our name this year. Levi Garcia. We sign him from Athens for £18,265,575. Down to the pound. We have exhausted our entire transfer budget to bring this man in, so there are some massive expectations on his shoulders. So with a formation change, some player signings and player departures, this is the team that starts the first half of the Premier League season. Again, similarly to when we did the Celtic rebuild a few weeks ago, I don't know what to expect coming into this first season. I don't know if we're going to be in a relegation battle or whether we're going to exceed expectations like we did with Celtic, but I'm excited to find out. Let's get to January 1st. All right, we're in the dogfight, lads. We are in the relegation dogfight here with Rangers. 4 wins, 7 draws, 9 losses on the 1st of January. We are aided by the fact that a few teams are absolutely terrible, most notably Bournemouth, who haven't had a win all season. Meanwhile, Celtic are they're 6 points ahead of us in 12th, so we could still catch them. But to be totally honest right now, my focus isn't on becoming the biggest club in Glasgow. It's just surviving this relegation battle. And we've lost a bunch of players that were loaned into the club. Cortez, Sema, and Diomande all heading back to their parent clubs. And that means players want out. Ryan Jack as well, he wants out. He's put in a transfer request. And you know what? If I'm going to sell Ryan Jack, I may as well sell some more players to make a big move here in January. John Lundstrom is out of the club. I think that points towards what position I plan on upgrading this window. And I'm trying to raise funds like crazy. Borna Barisic is off to Everton. But for someone that wants to leave so bad, Ryan Jack just keeps on rejecting transfer offers. All right, it looks like he finally found the place he wanted to go. He was being awfully picky, but Ryan Jack is off to Torino. Get in there. We get our man. It is going to be a huge addition to the defensive midfield role, a +3 upgrade on John Lundstrom, which might just be the difference between survival and relegation. But Oliver Skipp is going to be joining us here from Tottenham. We have stretched the budget once again. The board's not going to be happy, but I'm sure they'll get over it if we actually survive relegation. But I had to come here and watch the Old Firm derby. There are huge implications here. It's the first time in the Premier League. The lads aren't looking happy, but a win against the rival, Celtic, could change everything in the locker room. This could be the turning point of our season. Can we get a win against Celtic? Yes, we do! Cantwell in the first, Garcia in the 76th. We are going to win the Old Firm derby. That is such a relief, lads. The second half of the season has worked out brilliantly. We end up finishing higher than Celtic here in season 1, but both clubs surviving relegation. Bournemouth actually managed to get some wins next to their name, but they're going to be relegated alongside Wolverhampton and Luton Town. Scrolling up the table though, the top of the table, Everton in 8th, but Man City, probably just like real life, winning the Premier League title. The FA Cup does go to Liverpool. Birmingham City made it to the semi-finals. Fair play to them. We got eliminated early on. My God, we went out to Bournemouth. And a Merseyside derby in the Carabao Cup. We did go out to Everton in the round of 16 there. But of course, the goal for this video is to win Rangers a Champions League title here. Real Madrid, again, probably potentially just like real life winning it. Atalanta take down Benfica, and Liverpool win the Conference League. The wealth really shared across this first season. Danilo 10 and 4, Tavernier getting 9 goals, and second in the Golden Boot race at right back is brilliant. And Fabio Silva coming off the bench and getting 9 goals is a little concerning given how much we paid for Levi Garcia. He only bags himself 6 goals all year, which I'm not too pleased about. Rabbi Matondo goes up +1 from his loan. McCausland up +3 at West Brom. I'm excited to have Giannis Hagi back into the club next season as well. He'll be solid backup, or potentially, I don't know, he could battle it out with Camwell for the attacking midfield role. And Leon King up +3 to a 69 as well. We are going to be saying goodbye to 3 players at the end of the season though. John McLaughlin, Fabio Silva, and Leon Balogun all departing the club. I'm debating going back in for Fabio Silva, but I'm probably going to invest our resources elsewhere. But we've survived the relegation battle here in season 1 with Rangers, and for that I could not be more grateful. Bring on season 2. To begin this season, we decided to invest a large sum of money. It might be the club transfer record here, but it's invested on a goalkeeper who I think can be our #1 shot stopper for the remainder of this rebuild for the next decade. Đorđe Petrović, the Serbian goalkeeper, getting more game time, more starting time here as he transfers away from Stamford Bridge. £29.5 million to make him the new #1 at the Ibrox. Also, just a side note, this isn't me being a kiss or anything, but just before the pandemic in 2019, I actually visited Glasgow, went to the Ibrox, and I've got to say, it is one of my favorite stadiums in world football. I ended up getting the opportunity to do a stadium tour, and I don't know, man, something about that stadium, the way it's designed, the architecture, all the stuff behind the scenes, tickled a good part of my brain. I do need to get back to Scotland, like, as soon as possible, to be fair. But on the very next day, we have our first departure of the year. I tried to sell him basically all of last year. Nothing would go through, but this year we make it happen. Scott Wright off to Southampton. I invested some serious mental capital into this decision, but I have decided I'm going to keep Cantwell as the starting attacking midfielder, and I'm happy having Kieran Dowell as the backup attacking mid, and we're going to cash in on Giannis Hagi here. I was tempted to loan him out again, but I feel like it's going to suit us more now if we just cash in on the 11.5 mil and can use that to invest back into the starting 11. We will be saying goodbye though to Jack Butland. We've got our goalkeeper upgrade. I could have kept him as a backup goalkeeper, but again, we could go and get somebody for much cheaper, for like £500,000 or even a free. Jack Butland off to Fiorentina for 5.8 mil. This truly is the make or break year for Rabbi Matondo. We're sending him off on loan again, and if he doesn't come back like 75 or around there, I'm probably going to look to move him on. But for now, it is a loan spell to Leon. If you were watching my videos like 5 years ago back in FIFA 18, FIFA 19, when Rabbi Matondo was the guy, you know how weird it is to be seeing this career trajectory. He used to be one of my go-to signings in rebuilds. A signing that I am really excited about though in the back line, Joe Gomez. We've got him on a cut price deal here. Bang on his market value of 25 mil. Again, it's a high transfer fee, but I mean, I'm just terrified of second season syndrome, and I feel like we could get a few really good years out of Joe Gomez. I'm excited by this transfer. It's not the stereotypical transfer, but it's one that it interests me. We do need some help though in terms of squad depth, so we're going to sign the Scotsman Jordan Holsgrove, who has never even played in his career in Scotland, so we're going to make that happen. happen. And the former Rangers wonder kid, Billy Gilmore, coming back here to really kickstart his career again, potentially joining us for £9 million. His value goes down, but Billy Gilmore back at the Ibrox. We absolutely crushed it in the second half of last season, and I am praying that we can carry that form over to this year rather than the form that we started season 1 off with. I do not want to be back in the relegation battle. I mean, this team is really solid. Surely we're not going to be back in the battle. Well, there's no denying that we definitely carried that form over. 4th place. I'll take that. 4th place so far here in the season number 2. I'm almost speechless. That is an absolutely brilliant start. We are 10 points off first place, but if we could get some form of European football next year, that will skyrocket us. Trying to leave Celtic in the rear vision mirror. I feel zero need to mess with what seems to be a winning formula here in the January window. I'm going to go and just strengthen our backup left back options. Yilmaz was the only left back in the club, so we're going to sign the young left back here, Leo Hjelde, formerly of Leeds United. In this save, he went to Sunderland, but now he comes to Rangers. We hold on. We beat out some of England and the Premier League's biggest clubs, and already we've found ourselves qualified for the Champions League. In season number 3, we are qualified for the Champions League. Arsenal win the league by a point. We finish ahead of Newcastle, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. That is massive. And Celtic ended up dropping down into the relegation zone. Celtic have been relegated alongside Brighton and Norwich. Liverpool win the FA Cup. Man City win the Carabao. The Champions League. This could be very realistic given the current trajectory. Leverkusen win the Champions League, but I'm so curious to see how we go there next year. Arsenal win the Europa League, and the Conference League is Lazio's. Levi Garcia stepping up. Big question marks over him after last year. He heard those question marks and answered them. 24 goals. May have just won himself the Golden Boot. Danilo, 13 goals. Great year. Gabriel Sara, great option to give him the step up to the next level. Todd Cantwell, decent year for him. And James Tavernier is the definition of Benjamin Button. Leon King making steady progress. Probably going to look to loan him out again though next year. No growth for Rabbi Matondo. I'm probably going to sell him next year. Ross McCausland, another good year for him out on loan. But what a season 2 for us. Bring on the Champions League with Rangers. We're in the Champions League. Our transfer budget has shot through the roof. I want to make some massive changes. Maybe a surprise to some. I honestly didn't come into this season expecting to make this, but we have cashed in on Danilo, 27 mil to send him to Leipzig, and another striker leaving the club. Cyril Dessers off to Leeds. And with that, we're going to blow our previous transfer record out of the water. We have our new star player, our new highest rated signing, the Swede, Victor Gyökeres, joining us here. He's back in the English/Scottish footballing pyramid. Former Coventry City player, now a Rangers man. Gyökeres is joining us for £76 million. There it is, lads. We decided to pull the trigger on it. We've seen that animation every year, but this time it is for a permanent departure. Rabbi Matondo heading down south. Another player heading down south. Leon King off on another loan. Ross McCausland heading to Heidenheim on loan. I promise, lads, I don't have some sort of weird fetish for the South Club teams. It's just working out this way. Todd Cantwell also heading down south. He's off to Bournemouth. We are about to be a force to be reckoned with. Harvey Elliott back in the Premier League here. Liverpool sold him in the opening transfer window of season 1 to Hoffenheim. We're bringing him back. £37 million for Harvey Elliott. Man, our attack's going to be insane. Our defense is getting strong. We could seriously go on a run in the Champions League. Why not? Why not us? Why not be the Cinderella team? This is how the starting lineup is looking right now. Very balanced side. Tavernier, he's going down, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to play at least one season in the Champions League as captain, starting position, whilst we're in this Premier League rebuild. I will probably look to upgrade the right back role though, although I do want to keep Tavernier for the remainder of the video. It's in some capacity. Big year for Tosin, big year for Yilmaz. The team growing nicely. Let's see what our first Champions League group is looking like. That's actually hilarious. That is actually hilarious because I moved Burnley to the Scottish League. Burnley are in the Champions League here. They must be doing very well in Scotland now that both us and Celtic have been put into the English pyramid. So we've got Burnley in our group alongside PSG and Salzburg. Man, this is gonna be interesting. Fair play, Burnley. Fair play. We top the group. Oh, we top the group that had PSG in it. We might be the real deal, lads. We might be the real deal in season 3. I cannot believe I'm already saying that, but in season 3, we might be a genuine title contender. But Inter Milan, that's going to be a real good barometer. Inter Milan, round of 16 to see where we are at. But we're not doing too red hot in the Premier League. We're sitting 8th right now. 3 losses. We've only got 3 losses, but the draws. We're back to the draws, just absolutely killing us. We need to turn that around for the second half of the season so that if we don't win the Champions League this year, we're back in season 4. Round of 16, we're on the road for the first leg. The lads are growing nicely, which is awesome. Petrovic already up to an 86. All right, how are we going to go against Inter Milan, man? This could go either way. First leg, and it's a 1-1 draw. That really doesn't give us any indication, but we've got everything to fight for in the home leg at the Ibrox. Gyökeres is gonna, that's a great goal from him, right at the death. The miracle run, the Cinderella story still alive. Second leg, we're at home here against Inter Milan to get ourselves through to the quarterfinals. We do not! We go out in extra time. Garcia and Gyökeres both score, but then Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Banza are going to get 2 goals for Inter Milan in extra time, and we go out. We got dominated in the second leg, it looks like, but we go out in extra time. 5-3 on aggregate here in season 3. Now we need to pray that we can turn things around in the Premier League and have Champions League again for season 4. Our slow start to the season has cost us. We finished fifth in the Premier League here with Rangers. This would be good progress if we hadn't have started so red hot last year. So it's looking like we're going to be condemned to the Europa League next season. Man City back to their winning ways, United back in the top 4. Scrolling down the table, relegated sides are going to be Leeds, Everton, West Brom. I'm curious though, did Celtic win the championship? They finished second, so Celtic are going to be back in the Premier League next year. Chelsea do win the FA Cup. Newcastle win the Carabao. This does make me feel a lot better that we went to extra time with the team that ended up winning the Champions League. Unfortunately though, we're not even going to be in the Champions League next year. I think it goes without question that the Europa League, that will be priority number 1 to win the Europa League. Fenerbahce win it this year. Fair play, Fener. And Union Berlin win the Conference League. A massive first year though for our Swedish superstar. Gyökeres getting 31 goals up to an 87 overall. Levi Garcia, 26 and 8 is beautiful. 10 and 10 for Sara, who's now 85 overall. But we are going to have 2 players retiring here. Connor Goldson and Kemar Roofe. Kemar Roofe, I'm not so upset about losing, but Connor Goldson, I have a lot of love for this dude. I remember I did a Road to Glory career mode years and years ago. I think it was at like Shrewsbury or something. It was somewhere, I think it was Shrewsbury when he was super young. So to now see him retiring and only a few years from retirement in real life is wild to see. Yeah, we've decided to do it, lads. Should come as no surprise. We've upgraded the right back spot. Tavernier is still going to be in as a backup right back, and I pray that we can win a Champions League before he retires, but we need a big time player. Sasha Bowie. We need big players if we're going to get ourselves back to the Champions League. Straight in there though, lads, and again, another improvement to the defense. Tosin Adarabioyo. Looks like he's kind of hit around his peak, so I thought, let's get ourselves ready. Obviously, we can't win the Champions League this year, so I want to get players that can be hitting their primes or even getting even stronger than that next season. Mickey Van Ven joining us from Inter Milan. But I am open to cleaning out the minnows of the squad. Adam Devine heading on a permanent transfer to Stoke. Ross McCausland on a permanent transfer to Las Palmas. Death Taxes and Leon King being loaned out. Another time for him getting loaned out to Leeds. Gonna go ahead and pick ourselves up a backup goalkeeper this season though. Angus Gunn, the Scotsman, providing a decent bit of backup here in case anything happens. A solid presence to sit on the bench. The goal this year though has to be getting back to the Champions League. Whether we can do that by finishing top 4 of course in the Premier League, which at this point needs to be the standard, or by winning the Europa League. I'm cool with either. I would love for for us to do both, but this team is way too good not to be playing Champions League footy. Sitting 6th here on the 1st of January, we're only 1 point away from 3rd place Man City. This is going to be a hotly contested top 4 battle. You got teams like Brentford, Man United, Chelsea, all breathing down our necks. A run of form could put us in the title race, or in the other direction could put us into mid-table obscurity. But when it comes to the Europa League, we've done the job, not a single loss. We're into the round of 16. Prelims are going to go ahead, and we've just got to pray that we don't get absolutely shafted. But I'm not satisfied, fellas. We need more. We need a new left back, which is why I've gone ahead and signed Fabiano Parisi here from Everton, £49.2 million for the Italian left back. It's an upgrade I felt was going to be necessary, so I'm going to go ahead and try renegotiating Yilmaz's contract, keep him as a left back, but make sure that he's not upset. We're heading back to the Champions League, 4th place again. Better than 5th place last year. It's also good to see United, Liverpool, some of the big teams aren't going to be in the Champions League next year. 4th place, that's fine by me. As long as we get into the Champions League, that's a win. Relegated, did Celtic survive? Celtic are going back down. Celtic are officially a yo-yo club. Man United did win the FA Cup. Man City won the Carabao. We really haven't made the final. We haven't won any of these finals. We made the semi-final this year, but still no silverware in this entire video. PSG do go on to win the Champions League. But the question, how did we go in the Europa League? Straight through to the round of 16. We beat last year's champions, Fenerbahce, 8-2. That is a good omen. Quarterfinals, we beat Fiorentina 5-2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're in to a Europa League final. We beat Atletico Madrid 4-2. We're going to be versing Roma. Are we going to win a Europa League title? Yes, we are. Rangers Europa League champions. That's our first trophy as Rangers manager. As we look at the Conference League, Newcastle United win that one. Holy hell, 43 goals. Victor is surely going to be, he has to be nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Levi Garcia up to an 87. Man, we are looking good for next year. Just one man leaving us though on a free, and that is going to be Robbie McCrory. Back into the Champions League though for season 5, and I intend on us going all the way. Nicholas Raskin has been developing nicely, and there's definitely a case to be made for us to keep him as a starting center midfielder, but I want a Champions League title this year. I'm going all out. João Neves, he's only 22 years of age, 86 overall. We've broken Rangers club record transfer into the triple digits for the first time. £106 million spent on the Portuguese midfielder. That is massive. But we're not done yet, fellas. Omar Mamouche was actually on my shortlist when I started the career mode, and he was one of the guys I was weighing up between him and Levi Garcia. Obviously, we went for Levi Garcia, but Omar Mamouche is now joining us as a backup striker, and our improvement to the reserves is going to continue. Lewis Ferguson can cover holes throughout our entire midfield. He's a Scotsman, one of Scotland's best young prospects, which brings me to something. I'm thinking about doing a video where I make Scotland the world's best country. So if you want me to do a Scotland international rebuild, make sure you show some love in this video, like and subscribe and all that jazz. Let me know in the comments and I'll definitely consider doing that. But Lewis Ferguson joining us from Bologna for £30 million. But man, this team is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Our lowest rated player is 85 Gomez and 85 Parisi, who Parisi could definitely and probably will grow this year. Our reserves are so stacked as well. Back up in just about every position. We were unlucky not to even be in the Champions League last year. We won the Europa League. We have to be one of the favorites this year. Let's go check out our group. This is a balanced group. Wolfsburg, Sevilla, Club Brugge. There are no easy games here. But then again, I still think we should be winning this group. We should be topping the group. I want us to do that. I want us to get 0 losses, get a decent draw in the round of 16, and continue our journey. And if we get grouped, then I might have to blow up certain positions because some players are into their 30s now. Joe Gomez is the key example. If we don't win this year, we're going to have to go in for a new center back next year. Exactly as we drew it up. Exactly as we drew it up. Top of the group, Sevilla second. I'm not surprised. That's gone well. I'm hoping the second part of the equation, a decent round of 16 opponent is going to go as well. We've got Inter Milan again. Inter Milan, the side that broke our heart and went on to win the Champions League in season 3, is our opponent here in the round of 16. That's good, but also terrifying. An opportunity for revenge, but we know this team has our number. We're basically Arsene Wenger and Arsenal of the mid-2010s at this point. 4th placed again, but I'm hoping we can push up the table this year. Newcastle United have had just 1 loss all year, but those 9 draws are killing them. This is going to feel so good if we actually manage to get past Inter Milan. It's the exact same as last year. We start off on the road, 2 years ago. We start off on the road at the San Siro. Our team is significantly better than last time we were in this spot, but here goes nothing. First leg, 2-0 win. Beautiful. Oh my God, we have had a collection of yellow cards. João Neves, Elliott, and Skip. If our entire midfield is suspended for the second leg, I am going to be so dejected. João Neves is the only man suspended, so that means Nicholas Raskin's going to come in. 2 goals to the good. We're at home. We bottled it last time. It wasn't really, you can't say we bottled it last time, considering it was a tied scoreline, but still, we need the win here against Inter Milan. We need Gorka. He's up to 91. All right, don't bottle it. Oh no, Parisi gets 2 yellows and he's going to be suspended. We're moving on to the quarters, but it's going to be without Parisi, which is a huge, frustrating blow. We're going to be heading back to Italy, Juventus in the Champions League quarterfinals. All right, here we go. This is newfound territory for us this video. I'm feeling really grateful at the decision to hold on to Yilmaz and Raskin as well. Given the suspensions we've had, Yilmaz comes in here, of course, Raskin in the second leg of the round of 16. Neves is back for this second leg, for this first leg against Juventus. But as we travel to the north of Italy, to Turin, against Juve, we come away with a 2-2 draw. Sarah with a yellow card, but I'm frustrated at the fact that Chiesa got that goal in the 87th minute. It's all tied up as we head back to Scotland. We are finally back to full strength here. Parisi into the starting 11. Sarah didn't get suspended. It's a rainy night here in Glasgow. Can we give something to warm up our hearts, warm up our spirits, and get us through to a Champions League semi-final? We do it on pens. Holy hell. Every time it goes to penalties in a rebuild, I think I lose a day of my life. But we are gonna come through. Garcia in the clutch, sending it to extra time after Juve take the early lead. 2 clutch saves there, and we are gonna go on. Harvey Elliott sending us to a Champions League semi-final. God, there's so many callbacks this season. We're heading to Italy for the 3rd time, but we are versing the team that we beat in last season's Europa League final. So in the same fashion that Inter Milan had the edge over us, we have the edge over Roma, and I'm hoping we can capitalize on that. The first leg on the road, just like the others, is away in Italy. We need to take a big lead back to Glasgow with us. I don't want a tired game. I don't want to be chasing a deficit. I want us to be in cruise control ahead of a hopeful Champions League final. Easier said than done. Here we go. 1-0. I'll take it. Please, Van de Ven. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. Do not be suspended. João Neves has been scoring us goals for fun, and he gets another. Oh, Van de Ven suspended for the semi-final second leg. Once again, I am echoing my sentiments of gratitude that I did not get rid of players we upgraded. Tosin into the back line here, and I'm hoping he can put in a defensive masterclass and help guide us to a Champions League final. We hold the lead. I'm wanting a win. I'm wanting the most boring 0-0 draw known to man. 0-0, no injuries, no suspensions. It's 2-2, and we get no injuries or suspensions. They've got Harry Kane. I'm assuming that's Harry Kane for Roma, but we draw with Roma and eliminate them from the Champions League. We're going to be versing one side of El Clasico in the Champions League final here in Season 5. And it is going to be Real Madrid after they beat Barcelona on penalties. And I mean, we won the Champions League in 5 seasons with Celtic, so we have an opportunity to tie that with Rangers. Taking a look around the grounds, Man United win the Europa League. Sheffield United have won the Conference League. Oh, of course, because I put them into the Scottish League. I was like, how the hell have Sheffield United won that? But they are in the Scottish League. Oh, that just puts so much more pressure on us to win today. We finished 5th in the Premier League with Rangers. We miss out on top 4 football, and if we don't win tonight, we will not be playing Champions League football next year. Man City win another Premier League and relegated down Forest, Southampton, and Everton. West Ham won the FA Cup, and Man City won the Carabao. Also, at the start of the year, we were in the UEFA Super Cup, which we unfortunately lost to PSG. Everybody's sharing the wealth all around as we gear up for the Champions League final. What a first year in Rangers colors for João Neves. I'm excited to have him in game, but most importantly, I'm excited for our dynamic duo up top, Garcia and Gyökeres. Can they bag some goals tonight as we take on Real Madrid? Trying to make something happen here. Garcia's got a bit of space. I'm going to go early to Harvey Elliott. That's a good interception. Beat it. That's a beautiful ball. Trent out of position. It's not even Trent. It's Militao out of position. Gyökeres is... Oh, straight at the keeper. I was in two minds about whether to square it or not. Playing it around. Neves, nice ball. I'm going to feed it out. That's still on. Just shoot. Elliott, I should have kept going. Oh, he scores it anyways. It's a rocket. Harvey Elliott on the stroke of half time. I was about to kick myself for not taking an extra step, but Harvey Elliott's left boot has enough force behind it to beat Unai Simon and give us the lead in this Champions League final. Parisi down the left-hand side's been causing issues. That's a good ball. Going to go early here. That's a great ball. Harvey Elliott! Oh, he stuffs it. That's when I should have squared it. Harvey Elliott could have made it 2-0. But instead, we've kept the door open for Real Madrid. It's Neves. What a ball. Oh, how's he offside? I thought he was onside for sure. Rodrigo down the wing here. Parisi needs to get back. And right now I'm defending with João Neves, who's done a great job. But muscle him out. No, they get that one in. Good defense, Van de Ven. No, it's fallen to Vinicius. Do not let him get a shot off. Good defense, Joe Gomez. Free kick here for Real Madrid. Valverde lining it up. Is he going to go and try and be the hero? He is. That is so weak, though. Straight at Petrovic. I'm just putting it in the corner here for Elliott. Schlotterbeck is knackered. Elliott gets the good first touch. Ball rolls it. La Croqueta. Gonna go back in, Neves. Oh, yeah, we'll take the corner. We'll take the corner. I'm bringing the man short here. I don't want to give them any chance of a counter-attack. There it is, fellas. Real Madrid pushing on the attack at the depth, but they are held off. We're underneath the ground for some reason, but we have won a Champions League title here with Rangers in the Premier League. What a roller coaster it was, lads. There was times in this video where I thought we were going to get it done in 3 years. We ended up getting it done in 5. One of our first signings, actually our first signing of the video, Sarah, rocking the captain's armband, and he's going to lift the Champions League trophy to crown Rangers European champions. Lads, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to watch another video.